Right, brilliant.
Good evening, Andy and Amanda. How are you this evening?
Tired.
Yeah, very tired.
Very tired. It's like we've just been talking off mic before, clean, haven't we, about the England match from last night, and I don't want to get too critical of the English sightings last night, but it got a bit noisy around here, Amanda, basically, didn't it? So, and it was the best way of putting it. What was it like around where you are, clean, last night?
Very quiet. The other time before, when they won against Denmark, we had cars hooting along the high road, and it was just really ecstatic. And this time it was really quiet.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you hear it, Amanda, last night? There was fireworks going off. Just Amanda went to bed at what, 9 o'clock last night? Was it? You went to bed after extra time, didn't you? Yeah, Monday wasn't it? Was, yeah,
It was
after 9 anyway. And she missed a bit of the extra time and penalties. What we're getting, clean, was every time England scored a penalty, fireworks going off. And then we also then got, unfortunately, the three that got missed on one after the other. A massive amount of booing going on outside there was. So it was just really, really noisy last night. So, but as I said, is what it is. As I was saying, unfortunately. So, what have you been up to this week, Colleen? Then have you had anything to report?
Yeah, I like your phrase. It is what it is. It's caught on YouTube. I can hear lots of YouTubers using that phrase now. You should
oh, well,
TM it.
Everybody hacks me. No, I know. So, did we say, Colleen, seriously, that we're going to do another ghost story this week? So I've got a second
we're going to continue because, as you say, what was I up to? And I usually do a show. You know, I can arrange it to go to another day if need be. But this show, I mentioned, we're playing the Ghost Town by the Specials, and I said afterwards, I have a podcast with two writers.
It's sort of like a ghost town. Yeah, go on, I love that.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the way you were singing that. And I had a podcast with two writers, and we're now talking about ghosts and unusual stories. Yes, it's a really good topic because there are lots of unusual stories in England. Why? Because it's one of the oldest countries around, and when you have that kind of country, you'll get lots of unusual happenings going on. And one of them, I was trying for years to find the particular area or town in Yorkshire that is so haunted. No one, not even a ghost hunter or a psychic or one of those mediums, can stay in it for 1 hour because so much happens, like poltergeists and things thrown in the air, and it's so static with ghostly happenings that everyone, even the cameramen and TV people who don't believe, run out of the place immediately. But I'll keep looking for that, and I've been trying to find it for many years.
Right, I've got two quick stories with Colleen, okay? And these are both true stories as well. So one that I know happened, and the other one, unfortunately, I was kind of indirectly involved in, actually. I've not told you either of these stories, Amanda. Number one was, 35 years ago or so, shall we say. My mum's younger sister's first husband had a friend, and he reputedly, and again, it's for my time, this, went down to a fun fair near us and went to go and see, like what do you call that crystal ball, and you know what I mean, man? Who look fortune teller, and you'll love this one, Colleen. The fortune teller reputedly told his friend he had no future to be told, and was killed apparently in a car accident an hour later.
That's very sad and tragic.
Yeah, it's again, that is reputedly. Okay, again, the other one I do know about, and I've got two parts to this, because a family member of mine, and I'm not naming who, for various reasons, got a Ouija board some 25 years ago, and I had to, well, probably 20 years ago. No, we'll be 30 actually. God, time's fine. And I made him get rid of it basically. I told them the story there. When I was at school, just after I left school, really, there was a couple of people I knew that was four of them. I knew three of them, and one I didn't know really that well. So that fourth person took on the Ouija board to do a drink night at theirs when they were playing cards. and they messed around with the Ouija board. And call this coincidence or not, within 18 months, 3 of them were dead, and 1 was sectioned in a mental institution and hasn't come out.
Right. So it seems like a really unfortunate thing to do then. So
Yeah,
more
always believe. I'm always a believer. Tim, it's the best way to tell them about doing the Ouija boards. Don't touch them unless you know what you're doing.
I have a story about a Ouija board.
Hmm.
I messed about with a Ouija board when I was a teenager, when I was about 14, with some of my friends in my room.
Didn't know the story.
And,
I didn't know the story.
I had a mirror in my bedroom, and it got to the point, I think the third night after, there was like a smell, and it got so bad, it just smelled like somebody had died. And I got up to go to the toilet and walked past the mirror, and I saw something in the mirror that wasn't my reflection. I slept out in a hallway.
What happened to the mirror?
I never saw it again after that. We got rid of the Ouija board and that seemed to solve the problem, but it scared me enough not to do it again.
God. What
was terrifying, that.
I bet it was an idiom. I haven't heard that story before. It's honestly great, everybody, when you're with your partner and she comes out with stories out, and I tell you, do tell stories each other, we don't know. So, but what's your opinion on the Ouija boards, Colleen?
I'm like you, I wouldn't touch it at all, because there is something definitely that is attached to it that isn't what you can deal with. A relative did use that, and it pointed to her future husband's name, the first letter, and it was true. But I think since that time, don't think any of them used it, but I wouldn't dare go near one of those boards at all, because I think what you do is you attract that energy to go around with you. That's probably what happened to those boys, and they couldn't handle it, so they decided it was one way or the other.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, and I want to ask you both another question. We're in the zone tonight. What do you both think of fortune tellers? Do you believe in them?
There's some genuine ones, but there's a lot that are just out to take your money, and they just make it up and go by body language and stuff that's obvious.
Well, I've got a story for the pair of you here, and I've not told you this story either. Okay. Blackpool, about 9 years ago or so. I went over with my ex to Blackpool, and I went in to go and see a fortune teller, and the fortune teller turned around and told me, the one that you're with today, you're not going to marry. The one you're going to marry has the initial first letter A, and the second one is S.
No, you didn't tell me that.
We're pretty well before now, okay? And what do you reckon? What do you believe in that sort of thing, Colleen? What do you think of fortune tellers?
I don't normally, but after you've just said that, I think that, as Amanda says, there are some who really know what they're doing, and others who are just going by how you look and what they can see from the physical, persona. But other than that, I don't really, because but except for that one though, that sounded really good, because
that's the best way to put it, to be to you. And I'm still in good terms with my ex, and I hope she's not listening to this tonight, so I do apologise if she is. But this one there, that I had to lie for my back teeth and I get about that fortune tellers. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Well, I saw one in Blackpool when I was a child, and I don't think she was genuine. She said that I'd be wearing a uniform, and it wouldn't be a police uniform. But if you think about it, at some point in your life, whether it's a job or you go to a group like Brownies or Guides or something, you're going to wear a uniform at some point, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point. So
that's what I was trying to get at. I wasn't trying to get at that. I was trying to say that they look at your persona, they look at how you behave, and then they predict things via that way.
Yeah, I've been to 1 or 2 spiritist churches before now, and I remember it well because what you were getting then on the first time I saw it, and person I was with, her dad came along. And I was honest, I know I'm not seen this woman for years. Her dad's been dead for 10 years as well. And her dad was basically saying, the guy was obviously that when you're spirituals like that, you're trying to call people's names out with so-called messages. And sometimes you feel like he's just grasping for someone to connect, our desperation. But like I said, but that was it's about 50, my mate's friend's dad who was there, and he turned around and said after he thought he was a known psychic. He turned around and said he thought he wasn't doing bad. He's seen much worse. So it's, I don't know. It's really, it's a funny one when you look at that. So when you look at the way the human mind works, really funny thing. You know, did we talk about this last week? We talked about how little the human brain we actually use.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah. That's why. So it's really interesting. So I said, anyway, Colleen, I said, I know, I've not got much. Have you got any more good spooky stories? Colleen's happened. Nothing else to say about them.
Bury Pomeroy Castle in Devon, built in the 15th century, has ghosts and the same things that happened in the 15th century reappear, like a lady along the bridge, the fire tongs that are thrown over the bridge, the cannons and the guns are constantly being seen by many. When I saw the YouTube video, it has the entrance, the entrance ticket office in front of it. So it must be quite popular because it must be attracting a lot of people who don't believe or people who believe and want to see it themselves.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's sometimes this sort of thing is, if it does make you wonder, if we didn't believe in this sort of thing, would there still be a demand for it? You don't know. You read a lot about it, don't you? It's like slightly off topic, but there's been like a big debate in America recently. Have you read about this, about UFOs even, you two?
I know they've been saying for a while that they're going to tell you the truth about them, but then they keep finding a reason not to. They're never going to tell you.
No, they said there's been very, very mixed reports come from that recently as well. So have you been reading about that, Colleen?
Happened about 2 months ago. They brought up the incident that happened in July 2019.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about. Yeah, again, so it's very, very strange things going on there. That's definitely with that. So that's for sure. So, but you're also looking. You look at things like this. You're in this topic. I've got a couple of spare here. It's like the one that gets some of these famous things, like the Loch Ness monster, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, do you both believe in the Loch Ness monster, for example?
Yeah, I've seen it over the years many times, and there's a magazine called The Unexplained, which I used to read when I was 14. Oh, you've read it?
Oh, I've read that growing up. I did. Oh God, yeah. But depending on what the issues were, and I remember one of them, I was about 10 or 11, one of the prints, and depending how gory the issues got, was depending if mum and dad would let me read them, or they held them back for a couple of years on me. Yeah, I know.
Well, I was talking to someone about it, and I was saying I don't think it's real because with all the technology we've got, the pictures are always blurry, and we could take better pictures now. And they reckon that's because Loch Ness monster is in another dimension, and that's why you can't take a clear picture of it.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. Because if you look at like what you've got on the sides of the lake is the biggest lake in England, isn't it? And it goes down that deep. It's very, very hard. Based to scan that far down, but again, I've heard that talk as well. Have you heard that talk, Colleen, about the Loch Ness monster in another dimension?
No, but I know that I've seen lots of pictures of it, and there is something there, and it is a creature that exists, but it disappears. So it has to be something. It has to be an ethereal no, not character, but an ethereal being. Has to be, because so many pictures have been taken of it that something must be there, and we still haven't found out the point. But you know, when you said you did hear of that, you know about that magazine, it reminds me when I was on the show of the presenter that I was telling you about, that I know, and I was saying, when I was taking students around Cambridge, Oxford and Bath and Stratford as well, we went to see Oliver in in that theatre next to Sloane Square. He said, yeah, I went to see it there as well. And it just made me laugh when you said that, because I was thinking, well, I have to show a photo or something just to prove that I was there. But he said, yeah, I went to see it as well on air. It was so funny. It's really funny when you do that and you think, you just carry on with your incident, your particular